Hi, kindergarten. It's Mrs. Griffith. Today is a special day in the United States and actually all around the world. Do you know what day it is today? It's a special day called Earth Day, kindergarten. And Earth Day is a special day that sets aside time to think about caring for the earth. Do you think it's important to care for the earth? Do you think that Jesus wants us to be caring people for our earth? Yes. I hope you answered yes to both of those questions because, yes, it is important that we take care of the earth. The earth is our home and it's the only one we've got. And it's super important. Jesus, of course, does want us to take care of our earth. Our earth is a gift. It's a gift from God. And all of the creation that we have is a gift that God has given us. And so we are what we call stewards of the earth. That means we are here partly to take care of the gift of our earth. And so that's what Earth Day is all about. And it was started 50 years ago. Wow, 50. 50 years ago, on April 22nd, was the first Earth Day. And so today, here we are 50 years later, still celebrating our special home, our Earth. So I want to talk a bit about it today. And we're going to look at some ways that we can help take care of the earth. And I have a book that we'll be sharing and you'll be reading about taking care of the earth. And then I have a little quick painting activity that you can do too. So anyway, let's get started. So there are 3 big ways that we can take care of the earth. And 5 and 6-year-olds can do these things as well as grown-up people. And so, excuse me, one of the first things we can do, and we talk about this at school sometimes too, one of the first things we can do to take care of our earth is to recycle materials. And when we recycle materials, that means we send them to a specific place, to a plant or a factory where they are recycled. That means that they are broken down and reused to make another product. So let's look at some things we can recycle. Here in Portland and in Lake Oswego or West Lynn or Tigard or Tualatin or wherever you live, here are some things we can recycle. I live in Portland, so I know outside my door I have recycling bins that I can put things in. And so one thing I could recycle is a cardboard box, right? I got this in the mail, something came from Amazon. Well, instead of just sending this to the garbage and then it would be taken to the dump, I could recycle it. Okay, and so I could take my recycling bin. Oh boy, here it says Portland Recycles, and there's that recycling symbol. There's that recycling symbol that we have at school on our recycle tub. And I could send that cardboard box to the recycling center to be reused. And not only reused, but to be broken down and made into new cardboard boxes or paper. I can recycle boxes like this that food comes in. These are recyclable. So instead of putting them in the garbage, I can recycle them. I can recycle, well, that's another cardboard box. I can recycle cans. After I'm finished with the can, this can be recycled as well. I can recycle glass. When I'm done with this salsa, Instead of just throwing this in the garbage where it will go to the dump or the landfill, I can send this in a special recycling bin, and it goes to the recycling center, and they can make this into new glass for new bottles to be used. Can't go in with all my paper products, but it has to go in its own container, recycling container. I can recycle bags. Okay, so those are all examples. Ooh, and in fact, I can even recycle my pots that I get my plants from the plant store in. Up to a certain size, I can recycle those. So, recycling is one of the ways that we can be stewards of the earth and take care of the earth. And today in your packet, you will have a sheet. You don't have to print it out, but you could. And it says, circle the items that can be collected for recycling in your city. So maybe you and your mom and dad could go through these, and you could give a thumbs up for yes, we can recycle those. You could give a thumbs down for no, we can't. Everybody's community is a little bit different. So talk with your mom and dad about which of these things can be recycled in your community. So we can recycle. The next thing we can do is reduce. And I know a lot of you already do that, because instead of, when we reduce, we want to use less of something. So for instance, when you come to school and you are going to have a snack, a lot of you bring a container that is reusable, right? And we take our red bucket out and we put them in when we're finished, and you take them home and mom or dad washes it and we fill it up again. That's a great way to reduce how many plastic bags we use. Because if you use a plastic bag every day, you have to throw it away every day unless you take it home. But often they're just thrown away, and then those build up in our garbage dumps and landfills, which is a bad thing for our earth. So using these reusable containers is great. Instead of buying, like going to Costco and buying all the little chip bags, you know, so the big plastic package of all the little chip bags, another way to reduce how much plastic you're using is just to buy a big bag of chips, one big plastic bag, and then use your reusable container to fill it. So that way you don't have all those little bags of plastic that are then thrown away. These are just some examples I found at my house. Another way is, again, instead of buying all those little boxes of raisins that then have to be thrown into the garbage or recycled, if you buy just one large container of raisins and then just fill what you need into a reusable container, that's a good way to reduce how much plastic you're using. For me, as a big lady, one thing I did was I bought these little towels, because I found that I use a lot of paper towels, mostly to wipe up the counters in my kitchen. So one thing I thought I could do is I thought I can buy these little towels, and they're just made for, you know, wiping that counter down when I need to do it. And it's helping me not use so much paper towels, because I easily can do that. So I'm trying to reduce how much paper I'm using. So I have those. And then, you know, instead of using like a paper napkin for dinner or whenever you're having a meal, if you use a cloth napkin, that's a nice way to reduce. To reduce means to make smaller. Use a smaller amount of plastics and materials we have to throw in the garbage or recycle. So we can recycle. We can reduce how much we're using of plastics and materials. And then the last one is we can reuse things. So here's just a couple ideas. This was a food container that I had, and I just thought, hey, that'd be a great container to hold rubber bands. So I've got rubber bands in there. This was another one. I haven't decided what I wanted to do with it yet, but it came with some like cheese spread in it. And instead of throwing this away and sending it to the landfill, I thought, well, that's a nice little container. I'm going to decide what could I use, to have this be serviceable for me at my house again. So I'm thinking about that one. I think reusing for me is the place that I need to work on for Earth Day, is how can I reuse things better than I have been? So those are the three main ways that we can help be stewards of our earth. We can recycle, we can reduce how much we're using, and then we can reuse things. Now, for reducing, there's a sheet that you have, and it says, color the items that would make less garbage and put an X through the item that would use more resources or make more garbage. So you're comparing like a fruit cup that comes in a container with a plastic lid versus a banana or an apple. Which of those would make more garbage? Talk with mom and dad about those. Maybe you could just go through these examples together and just talk about them. Which one of these are more earth friendly? And things you could do at your house to reduce. And then this page you also have, it's got a box filled with some materials you would find around your house. And it says, choose one or more items from the art box and design a way to use them. In kindergarten, one thing I know about you is you always come up with many, many more ideas than I do. So this is a fun thing to think about. How can you reuse things at your house? Think about that today on Earth Day, okay? All right, so kindergarten, I'm gonna come back and talk to you about a book that we have about Earth Day, and then I'll come back and talk to you really briefly about a little painting activity that you can do, and you're going to be doing some Earth Day writing. So I look forward to that. See you in a little bit. Bye.